Hello children. So here we come with the next topic, that is human respiratory system. Before this we had discussed about the respiration in plants, respiration in animals, and I hope you have seen all the videos related to this topic. And in this video we will discuss about the different parts of human respiratory system and the mechanism of the respiratory system, and one of the important respiratory pigment that is associated with the exchange of gases that we will discuss in this video. So now there is a structure of human respiratory system. Human respiratory system, it is meant for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the atmosphere and the cell. So cell, or you can say all the body, needs fresh oxygen, and in return the harmful carbon dioxide gas should go out. So that is done by this system in humans. So start with the different parts of the human respiratory system. So if we talk about the first part, from where we are taking the oxygen we are taking from the nostril. Just you can see in this diagram also, there is a, before the nasal passage, there is a opening that we call as a nostril. So air is taken into the body through the nostril, and these nostril is actually having a fine hair and mucus which help to filter the air entering through it. It means that if in the air if there is a any type of infection or dust is present, so these hairs are doing a function of filtration. So this is the important thing in nostril. It is followed by a nasal passage. You can see here nasal passage. Air entering the nostril leads to the nasal passage, and it is mainly responsible for conducting the air. Means the air will come from nostril to the nasal passage. Now after that there is a what? There is another structure that we call as a pharynx, followed by larynx. So nasal chamber open into what? Nasal chamber open into the pharynx. It passes air to the next part of the respiratory system that we call as a larynx. Larynx is what? Larynx is located just in the neck region and in front of trachea actually, and it also meant for producing sound that you know very well. After that there is a windpipe. That windpipe is known as trachea. So the air passes from the pharynx and goes into this trachea. In this trachea, there is an incomplete rings of cartilage present, and these incomplete ring of cartilage keep trachea open and allowing the passage of air into the lungs, and also prevent it from collapsing if there is no air. It means the trachea is not a bony structure, it's very muscular structure, very fine contractile structure. So this ring of cartilage provide a shape also for this trachea. Now this trachea is followed by divided, actually trachea divided into two smaller tube that we call as a bronchi. You can see there, this is the bronchi. One towards the left and one towards the right lungs. So this is what? This is the bronchi. So trachea divided into two small tubular structure that we call as a bronchi, after where into entering into the thoracic cavity, and these extend to in the part that we call as a lungs. Again these bronchi divided into subdivided, you can say, into a small tube like structure that we call as a bronchioles, and each bronchioles finally terminate into a sac, alveolar sac structure. And you can see this diagram also, this is the alveoli or alveolar sac. Alveoli, what is alveoli? So alveoli is a balloon like structure located inside the lungs, a large. And what is the role of this alveoli? This increase the surface area for exchange of gases. On the wall of this alveoli there is a presence of a blood vessels. So the oxygen that we are taking, or you can say air that is coming from nasal passage or nostril, come to the last part of the respiratory system, that is the alveolar sac. So in the wall of alveolar sac there is a presence of a blood vessels, and the exchange of gases, means oxygen and carbon dioxide, is exchanging through the wall of alveoli. So this is the important role. After that, you can see there is a presence of a rib also. This is the rib. 12 pairs of rib present in a thoracic region, and they make a case in the thoracic region. Lungs and heart are safely placed in it, and movement of intercostal muscle attached to it. Inside there is a presence of intercostal muscles, and these actually attach to the ribs and help in the breathing. Means whenever there is a exhale and inhale, there is a that time there is a increase and decrease of the surface area, and due to that there is a pressure gradient developed, and oxygen and carbon dioxide is going and coming inside. These are a pair of lungs. Actually, lungs are the primary organ, you can say, for the respiration, and these are located on the two side of the heart. They transport the oxygen from the atmosphere into the blood and release carbon dioxide from blood to the atmosphere. So this is, and lungs are very important. Lungs, the wall of the lungs, they are protected by a protective membrane that we call as a pleura. So lungs is also protected by a membrane that we call as a pleura. Now there is another diagram you can see here. This is known as a diaphragm. It is a muscular partition between the thoracic and abdomen and forms the base of the chest cavity. So this is the reason from where the thoracic and abdomen region is divided. During inhalation, means when we are taking the oxygen, it is going to be flattened and increase the chest cavity so that air is coming to inside the lungs. While we are exhaling carbon dioxide, that time this diaphragm is going to be relaxed, again come into the original condition. So this is the important role of the diaphragm. So mechanism of gaseous exchange in humans. Actually, what happened when the human beings are taking oxygen from the atmosphere, or you can say a process of inhalation, and they release the carbon dioxide in return. So that time exhalation. So this process is actually a breathing, right? And the mechanism for moving of the oxygen and carbon dioxide out in the human beings is term, we call it as a gaseous exchange. So gaseous exchange actually done in three step, you can say: inhalation, then exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the alveolar sac or wall of the alveoli, and after that there is a exhalation. So these are the three step by and that there is a complete exchange of gases take place during the process of respiration. So first step is the inhalation. So what happens in inhalation, you can see in this flow chart also. What is there? Air that we are taking, that we call, what I have told you, this is the breathing. Intake of air is simply breathing. So this air enter via nose or mouth, travels down to what? Up to the pharynx and larynx, right? And after that what happens, there is a primary filtration done, and the next part you know now very well, that is a trachea. From trachea, that air enter into the left and right bronchi. From left and right bronchi enter into the towards each side the bronchioles, and finally they reach to where? To reach to the alveolar sac. Now you know very well, in the wall of alveolar sac there is a blood capillaries, and in that blood capillaries there is a diffusion of gases, means diffusion of oxygen into the blood and diffusion of the carbon dioxide from the blood into the alveolar sac. So that take place. Now what happens when the air is coming? So how the air is coming, that is very important. Actually, you know very well, each and everything is flowing through the diffusion, or you can say pressure gradient. It means something is coming from somewhere, that thing or that gas should be in a higher concentration, right? So in this case also, what happens, in the atmosphere there is a high concentration of the oxygen, and in body we are deficient, we are requiring that oxygen, right? So what happens, there is a, due to that diffusion gradient, oxygen is starting inside of your body by the diffusion, right? And how this happens, when the air is entering or it is coming to the up to the lungs, that time what happens, chest cavity becomes broader, larger. How the chest cavity is going to be larger? Due to the flattened diaphragm and lifted ribs. You can feel when you are listening, you can feel it when we are inhaling. When we are going to inhale, that time what happens, actually the chest cavity becomes larger. It is going to be larger due to the flattened of diaphragm and lifted ribs. So there is an increase of area in the thoracic cavity, and the amount of air is less. So what happens, due to that there is a pressure gradient develop, and oxygen start entering from the atmosphere to the lungs, and this is the process that we call as an inhalation. After that what happens, blood will reach to the blood capillaries of the alveolar sac, and there is a exchange of gases take place. Now air is reaches up to where? Up to the alveolar sac. So in alveolar sac there is a exchange of gases take place, means there is a exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So what happens, oxygen diffuses from alveoli into the blood capillaries. Now you can see here also, this is what this is the, I am showing a gaseous exchange between the alveolar sac and the blood capillaries. These are the capillaries, this is the wall of alveolar sac. So what happens, oxygen is coming inside, oxygen diffuses into the blood, and carbon dioxide is coming out from the blood into the alveolar sac. So this is the exchange of gases, and actually what happens, when the oxygen come into the blood, it is going to be associate, or it is going to be combined with the pigment, respiratory pigment, that we call as a hemoglobin. And one molecule of hemoglobin can combine four molecule of oxygen, and they make a compound that we call as a oxyhemoglobin. So when the oxygen is flowing in the blood, so that time it is flowing in the form of oxyhemoglobin, and it reaches to every cell of the body, and wherever it is required, that time that oxyhemoglobin again dissociate into the oxygen and hemoglobin, and the cell will use that oxygen. So this is a process. Again, in contrast, that cell is releasing the carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is coming back from the blood into the alveoli, and from alveoli it will go back to the same pathway to the nostril, and we are exhaling. So this is the gaseous exchange of the oxygen and carbon dioxide during the process of respiration in humans. So last step during the respiration is the exhalation. It is a process of giving out the carbon dioxide from the lungs to the atmosphere. Now you know it very well. Now what happens? So the carbon dioxide is transported into the dissolved form in blood. Actually what I have told you, when the oxygen is going in the form of oxyhemoglobin, and when the carbon dioxide is coming back, it is most of the time it is soluble in comparison to the oxygen. It is more soluble in the plasma of the blood, so it is transported into the plasma of the blood and come back to where? Up to the alveoli. So from the blood, carbon dioxide passes to the alveoli, and then because I have told you what happens when the exhalation is there, that time again chest cavity is compressed, so area is going to be constricted due to the relaxation of ribs and diaphragm. And so due to that what happens now, carbon dioxide is more where? Inside the lungs, or you can say inside the body. So again carbon dioxide start moving from the body into the atmosphere due to the fresh diffusion pressure gradient. So air is forced out of the lungs into the atmosphere, and that process we call as a exhalation. So this is a very important thing that you should know about one of the important respiratory pigment that participate in the process of respiration, that we call as, this is what we call it, it is a hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment that increase the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. That, as I have told you, one molecule of hemoglobin can combine with the four molecule of oxygen, and they make the oxyhemoglobin. So the diffusion, as I have told you, how the gases move from atmosphere into the respiratory system due to the diffusion pressure gradient. but just a diffusion pressure alone cannot take care of oxygen delivery to all part of the body in large size animals actually. So respiratory pigment take up oxygen from the air into the lungs and carry it to the tissues. So, and that respiratory pigment in human beings is which one? That is a hemoglobin. It is very high affinity for the oxygen and it present in RBC and make a compound that, as I have told you, oxyhemoglobin. And carbon dioxide is being more soluble in water than oxygen, is mostly transported into the dissolved form in our blood. So you should remember this. This is very important. We asked number of time. So what is the how the oxygen is transported? The oxygen always transported in the form of oxyhemoglobin, but when we talk about the carbon dioxide, most part of the carbon dioxide transported in the plasma of the blood, and a less amount of, because it's having a less affinity with the hemoglobin, so a very less amount of carbon dioxide is transported back up to the alveolar sac with the hemoglobin. So this is all about your respiration, respiration in animals, respiration in plants, respiration in human beings. So we are done with this. Next in video we will start with the transportation of things in animals and plants separately, and I hope you got very well all the things that I have discussed. And please go through this video very thoroughly. If you have any problem, if you have any doubts, you are free to ask me also. Thank you.